Hey, all, it's Nitro Nerds here, and this is part 3 of a video series called, I don't know what I'm calling it, Tuning a Nitro Engine. Something very generic, how about that? Part 1 was simple explanation of the process that I employ. Part 2 was just a little behind the scenes, how the sausage is made. Today, let's actually get down to work, and I'll walk you through what I do. As always, take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm no expert. I'm still learning every day how to tune. I imagine I'll continue to learn every day. I hope so, at least, as long as I'm in this hobby. I firmly believe that you can always get better, and becoming complacent is probably the worst thing you can do. In this video, I'll be tuning a OS25XZ that's inside of a OFNA Hyper 7. This is a lot of engine. For this buggy, and I've made the conscious decision, instead of taming the engine, which there's ways to do it, I'm letting it I'm letting it kick ass. And I'm instead taking the buggy and preparing it to handle all the power. Whoa! I think toward the end of this series, I'll kind of walk through the things I've had to do, but it's definitely been worth it. The pipe I'm using is an OFNA 086, or actually a Dynamite 086. The fuel I'll be using today is Byron's 30%, and the plug I have is a P3. For clutch, I have a VP Pro 3-shoe aluminum with two 2.95 millimeter and 1 millimeter springs. The only advice I'm going to give you for this video is, when the RPMs drop, look to the window if you want to understand behind the scenes. All right, now for all you guys who are only going to be able to watch this one episode in this series, or who elect only to watch this one episode, here's what you'll get. You will have the ability, if you follow everything closely here, to be able to establish a nice bass tune for your engine. And if you're like me, the idea then is wherever you're going to take it to, whatever surface terrain, that's where you complete the fine tuning on it. You'll have to figure that out yourself if there's only one you're going to watch. But the next video, part 4, I will go over fine tuning it. So the very first thing that I do is I'll take it out to a spot and get it warmed up. Typically, probably a tank, maybe 2 tanks. Once I feel it's at operating temperature, I'll get down on the high speed needle and I'll start turning it maybe 1/8, 1/16 at a time. What I'm doing is I'm listening for the increase in RPM. So I want to hear it kind of clean out consistently on top without any gurgling or anything like that. I'm not so much worried about the bottom end at this point. Again, it's just all top end. I want to hear a good, crisp, clean cleaning out of the top end. Now this is where a lot of people will make mistakes, in that they'll either just stop based on temperature because they got their temp gun, and they'll consistently just look at the temperatures of the engine. But again, temperatures have nothing whatsoever to do with your tune. what I'm doing is I'm listening for performance. And the best way to put it, you'll know it when you hear it, or at least I do. Now once I hear that, and I understand that it's on the pipe, screaming its tits off, do I stop? Hell no, I keep going. I keep leaning it. Until eventually what'll happen is you'll hear it ting, or the RPMs will carry on, and that's when I'll back it off. And then at that time, I'm pretty much, I don't want to say I'm done with my high speed, but like I said, the goal is to kind of get it within those parameters that you want. So with the high speed set, now I'm going to focus on the low speed and the idle, because it sounds like crap right now if you think about it. And so what's happening is the engine is loading up because it's so fat down low. I'll give you an example. Here you can listen where the idle's high, and then the RPMs will drop after, I give it some throttle. Or here, once again, idle's high. If I blip the throttle, it'll immediately drop in RPMs. This is what you call a two-stage idle, and it's something you don't want. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that, again, don't understand the importance of your idle stop, and if you don't account for it, you're never going to get a good tune. And so what will happen is they'll continue to lean the low speed, and the idle will just get higher and higher and higher, and then they start rich, and you get in a maze, right? And so they get lost. Hopefully, once again, this video is going to show you exactly what you need to do. So let's go ahead and shift focus to the main areas, I think, of a good race tune, and that's the low speed and the idle stop. But first, we got to go to a different location, because I was running some impacts on grass, as you could see, and it's not really the ideal surface and tires that you want to be using when you're tuning a vehicle. Actually, if I would have known I was going to go on grass, I would have had something like this right here. But I'd planned to go to hard pack surface, which I am now, and I'm going to go ahead and just use some city blocks. We'll start with those. All right, so I take it back out, and you can hear right here, I get it warmed up again. Here you can listen to how it's two-staging in its idle, and the low end, very sluggish. Now I'll begin making very small adjustments to the low speed needle. You can hear a slight improvement here in this clip, and a little bit longer of an idle before the RPMs drop again. This is what I'm striving for. Again, as you lean the low speed needle, you want the idle to remain consistent longer before it drops. And I continue to slowly lean the low speed needle, probably 1/24 turns. How about some trivia for you Savage guys? Name that part. I'll give you 2 hints. First hint, there's 2 of these on a Savage. Second hint, let's see. This one is bent, and I actually inquired about it on Savage Central. Actually, if I told you, right as I got this engine tuned, to where it had a nice tune on it, this happened. And that was it. Would you believe me or tell me to go tell it to those cats on Nitro RC Talk Forum? Because that's how they roll, right? But I have video. Just a little bit of it, but I have video. Take a look, because that is exactly what happened. That shit just got off. That was a rock that hit the flywheel there. Yeah, that'll do it. Here's a quick tip for you. One of the things that I often encourage people to check out as we're going through troubleshooting any tuning issues is their fuel delivery system. I have found firsthand the havoc that it can, to the point where it really is a maintenance item for me, in that I will change out tanks regardless every gallon or so. And I get a kick out of a lot of these guys, you know, they seal their brand new engines, but they leave the same tank on for the duration of the vehicle. They don't, well, I know why they don't, because I never run their vehicles, but I can tell you, I know there's a lot of little tests you can do for things such as that, but when I say I change the tank, I mean that's the fuel lines, the clunk system, everything. And 100% of the time I have seen increased performance. Sometimes it's fixed a problem, sometimes it's, again, just, you know, provided a performance increase. So to that end, I've started putting cable ties, as you can see here, around the fuel lines. But let's say you don't have these, right? Or they can pinch or something like that. Here's an alternative. To where it's like this, and then you very simply slip it over the nipple, like that. Stretch it out like that. You can put fuel tubing around it, like right there. Right there. If you want to get nuts, you can even throw a little bling around there. I won't tell anybody. All right, so what the hell did I do? It's pretty simple. All you do is get yourself some old fuel tubing like this right here. Or better yet, let's start with yellow. Cut yourself off a little end of it. Put it on some needle nose pliers, just like that. Okay? It's gonna be hard to do with one hand, but you open it up real wide, just like that. Slide the other tubing through, just like that. Slide it on like that, and then roll that over the nipple. And then you slide it on just like that. Hell yeah. And then I smell cigarette smoke. Turn around, and there's this guy in this white tank top wearing a pair of jorts. Some, you know, screaming jackass with a wet cigarette walking up, and lo and behold, it was old Ricky Bobby Lee. Good Lord. And he's all amped up, carnage, and all that and everything. And my take on it, to be really serious here, I don't know where the hell the timer went, but my take on it was I was disappointed and actually, excuse me, a bit contrite about it, because that should not have happened, and that's my fault. The way I see it is, you know, hey, I make no bones about it that this buggy is overpowered with this engine, but, you know, that's too damn bad, because it's going to remain overpowered until I get this buggy able to handle the engine, which I know I can. That's the beauty of this hobby, is you can get these vehicles to be whatever you want them to be and do whatever you want them to do. And I want this buggy here to be as villainous as any Hyper 7 that ever lived. And that's a pretty tall order, because this is, you know, this is a very, very popular vehicle here worldwide. And so I have my work cut out for me, but I'll get there. There are a few things I could have done. Really what it came down to is brake and traction, which caused tire ballooning, which caused pop goes the weasel. My clutch is sprung down, actually. I'm running 3-shoe 2.95 millimeter and 2.1 millimeter. But anyways, I'll worry about that a little bit later. It could have been the tires. I was running city blocks, which, you know. So, but that was all about brake and traction, because I was getting so much torque from this. With that said, let's take a listen to where I was. And it sounded okay. But here's where the magic will happen. So let's step back. When we started, we richened out the needles a little bit. We opened up the idle stop, made sure it was at least a millimeter. And then we began leaning the high-speed needles. Once we had that within the RPM range we wanted, we started leaning the low-speed needles. When you lean the low-speed needles, your idle's going to increase as well. So at this point, we've got a fairly good high-speed setting, a fairly good low-speed setting, but the engine, in my opinion at least, still sounds like crap. Placeholder for crap again. Because what happens is after a hard pass, the idle is, it's high for a long, long time. So what do you think we should do? That's right. Let's lay down the idle and then sit back and say, oh, hell yeah. All right, so that's going to be it. And I'm going to take this thug out right in the backyard and just jump it for a little while. Have a little fun with it. I'm going to be changing out a whole lot of stuff on it. Which leads me to the final. Our channel is very user-centric, or viewer-centric, I should say. And I'd like for you guys to select the subject of an upcoming video that I'll post in the next 7 days. I'll give you the categories, I guess, of videos that we normally create. And that would be, first one, like running vids, of course, right? So I'm going to be taking out the Mugen, the Hyper 7, of course, and the Tamiya 801 XT. So anybody wants to see running vids of that or one or more vehicles, let me know. Put down where you'd like to see it, you know, bashing, at a racetrack, whatever. I will do my best to show what I can. And let's see, the other categorization would be instructional. These are my personal favorites, but diff shimming. So I've actually filmed it, I just got to put it together and post it, but I walk through what the hell diff shimming is and why you'd care. Let's see, camber and toe settings as well as caster. So I'm going through and kind of revisiting a lot of that on many of our vehicles. Thought I'd roll film while I do that. And then how to do a complete teardown and inspection of your Savage. So as an example, if you guys remember, earlier in the first intermission I showed you a part, it was a joint post actually for the Savage, it was bent. I would never have known that until I took it out and looked at it, and boy, that's gonna, I'm not having that, trust me. It's gonna cause all sorts of problems. I mean, I've had play and out drives before, but oh hell no. So yeah, just good things to look at, you know, it's applicable in my opinion to every vehicle. See, this is the stuff right here that keeps you running right, not this stuff. Now, if you think I'm afraid of bling, you think you saw some, you know, you did. Oh, not the tank mount? Damn, what's it say? Alza? Okay, and this one here says, what's that? Innovative RC. Huh, they look, and the skid plate too? Why not? Actually, I'm kidding. I really didn't throw the RPM one away. Well, I'm not kidding that I'm going to be using the RC one, but I'm not running RPM products anymore. I just, please check it out, Bobby. Check it out. Oh, hell no. No worries. These were just practice ones. Of course, the difference is I can give you 15, 20 reasons why I elected to go with an aluminum shock tower, where this guy, well, look at his truck. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I'd love to, you know, just, let's pick it apart, have some fun with it, because you got to know this guy too. He is he thinks his truck is badass. He really does. And hey, you know, that's what it's about. I beg to differ. Probably more so than on anything I've ever differed on in this whole hobby. I mean, that thing is, oh God, it's amazing. I'm not ever surprised at the type of people that this hobby attracts. I'll put it that way. Anyways, let's continue to some other videos that we are considering doing, but again, you select. We just need to hear it from you. Would be something that I stole from my main man. He's got a lot of tattoos, has a pool table, does a lot of reviews on electrics. We'll call it Ask the Nitro RC Nerds. I really do like the idea. I think the concept is you write a comment with whatever question you want, and we endeavor to answer it in our next video. Another one that we are considering would be real-time troubleshooting of a potential air leak. That's right. Yeah. See, I got the, well, where did it go? See, I got the basher look going right now. I can certainly have a basher air leak, can I? It's not in this engine though, but actually I validated it has an air leak, and this is after about 5 gallons. Thought I'd walk through, and as I fix it, and then the final one. A review of, we'll call them savage-centric vendors. That's a mouthful. As an example, Alza. So gentleman DeJohn at Alza, I've been working with him on this brace kit right here. And then we have IRC, Innovative RC, worked with Rob. Way over there in that London, that England. And anyways, you'll see. But thought I would do a review on not just, you know, dealing with overseas manufacturers, but just my thought on the products and everything. These are vendors that I was turned on to from Savage Central. And I think it's good to hear feedback from people on their experience. All right, so that's going to be it. Click to the right for Easter egg. And I appreciate everybody's watching this video. And I hope you have a great afternoon. Tomorrow, we're going to fine tune this bitch. And by that, we're going to put it on the box and go through and clean out the entire power band. I love it. Hey man, let's see what we got on the computer here. Who's this here? Oh, Nitro Nerds, yeah. I like them, they're alright. I'm going pretty extreme, as well as I just completely removed... Man, this guy ever shut up? Good God. LRP. Aluminum. I didn't get a chance to tune my engine before this video, bro. Mill. Second gear wheelies. LST shock mod. Aluminum. Shelf queen. I know, right? 1 trillion K diff oil. Huh? He's still on? Cure all of your tuning woes. You can take your engines from this to this. It's that easy. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Oh hell, I already knew that. Tuning's easy. Just seal the engine every time after you run it. Stick a thermometer up in it. Thermometer will tell you when it's tuned.